Well, I can't believe it. Look at that. 10:05 and here I am. Right on time. How about that? Hey, serious. Oh my gosh. Are you working tonight? Right. Oh me. So tonight's gonna be a little different than what we usually do. I'm actually going to play a 15-minute video, and I don't usually do that because I don't want to bore y'all to death, but I think this one could be interesting. But I guess me and Sirius will sit here and talk and let a few people come in. Sirius, when you gonna jump up here with me? I know you ain't never coming up here. Well, guess what I figured? Oh, there's Sunflower. So, Sirius, you'll be glad to know that I figured out how to fix it to where I think y'all been wanting me to do it to where y'all can read the playback chat or something like that when y'all watch it on replay crew. Well, there's that lovely delay. Y'all ready for this? That sounds like we're gonna be wrestling. Sunflower Soul. I sure do like that name. So, okay, well, of course, we have to start off with a video. Well, we have to start off with a song because it's attached to the video. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the song and then I'll stop it before the video starts. And I will see y'all there.
Kohberger face on every screen, a villain or a pawn. You're screaming in the comments, but the heart's long gone. Monetize the bloodshed, stack that ad cash high. While Maddie's dreams and Kaylee's life just wither up and die. Burn it down, this toxic flow. You're selling out their souls for a viral show. Maddie, Kaylee, Anna, Ethan, lost in your disgrace. We're choking on your bullshit, spitting shame in your face. Graveyard glow, you're killing their lives. Forgotten in the static of your endless fight. Armchair detectives, yeah, you're playing CSI. Spewing half-baked theories while their families cry. Kohberger's guilty, eyes framed. You love the fucking game. But Santa smile on Ethan's heart ain't fuel for your thing. You're dropping hashtags, chasing clout. It's a digital disease, turning tragedy to content, bringing justice to its knees. We're sick of your obsession, your drama's a disgrace. You're dancing on their graves, got their blood on your face. Burn it down, this toxic flow. You're selling out their souls for a viral show. Maddie, Kaylee, Anna, Ethan, lost in your disgrace. We're choking on your bullshit, spitting shame in your face. Graveyard glow, you're killing their lives. Forgotten in the static of your endless fight.
Okay. So, y'all know that's the reason that we're here is always for the victims. Um, and I definitely wanted to play that one because the video that I'm going to play next, it does not have them in it at all. And so I felt like, I always feel like I have to show some kind of love and love to the victims. So, but we know that Kohberger has pled, and we know that we're waiting on him to go through sentencing and everything. And so I was going through everything, and it's like, I don't know. I think Jeff H said, "Hey, Doodlebug, y'all, please, please show Doodlebug some love. God bless her. She has been covering Texas, but and that's got to be weighing because, man, I see her updating the missing flyers, and it's rest in peace, and I hope that I hope God's giving you some peace, and because I know that that's got to be really hard, Doodlebug. And as a matter of fact, I was gonna I was gonna play something on that, and I just totally forgot it. Y'all, hang on just for a minute. And let's see. So, Doodlebug, I'm glad that you're in here. This is from Nicole Murray's mom. And I just wanted you to see that I had tagged you, and I wanted you to just see what it said and everything about them thanking you for not forgetting her daughter. So, this just shows the good that you do, and that there's so much appreciation out there. And I mean, God love your heart. I mean, seriously, God love your heart, Doodlebug. So, but Nicole Murray actually, her body was found. Oh, I'm not going to say how close to Kohberger's house, but it was close. It was, it was single digit miles. I know that much. So that's neither here nor there. That makes your heart so happy. You deserve it, Doodlebug. You really do. I mean, as a matter of fact, it says, someone sent me this. It gave me chills. Thank you for not forgetting my baby. That's what it's all about. And you do it so well. So, and thank you. Okay, what I'm about to play y'all. This is a river in Texas. In 1 hour, it rose 26 feet. So it's only like a minute and 30 seconds, but y'all got to see this. That is some craziness. And I mean, it's horrifying. I mean, the tree just disappeared. So, okay. Okay. So, prayers for Texas, everybody. I mean, it is, yeah, just prayers, prayers, prayers. I mean, that's, oh my gosh. I sent you a message a few minutes ago to see what you were up to, but now I know. Yes, you do. I am right here. And y'all are going to, y'all have always heard about some of the research I've done concerning Kohberger. And so last night, I think Jeff H put it so well the other night. He was like, Nina, it's like graduation day. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to go write my graduation speech or something, And because, that's exactly sort of kind of what it feels like is, it's like, okay, we're graduating, time to go on to another school or, something, And so I was going through my stuff and I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's like, oh, filing all this away is it's sort of kind of emotional. I mean, and so I knew that I'd always talk to y'all, but it's always been like in different, like talk a little bit about his psyche, but move on to something else, or talk about his addiction and then move to something else, And so I thought, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit down and I'm going to put a few of the things that I found in my research in a video, and I'm going to write how I interpret it. So I hope y'all will get something out of it. I hope maybe you see something that you didn't know, and after it's over, if you have any kind of questions about anything you saw in the video or anything, we will do a Q&A. So, and again, this is just my writings of the way. I am in no way a doctor. I'm in no way a psychiatrist, a psychopathist or whatever. So, you know, I'm no. This is just the way I allowed his interest, his schooling, his patterns, his studies. I let all that guide my research. I didn't guide it myself. I just let his stuff guide me. And this is what I put together. And this is who Brian Kohberger is, according to my research. No. Hang on, y'all.
Was a scholar of crime,
Oh,
toxic
shoot.
masculinity. Mother Mary Ann worked at the OCD. Him Xander was Brian Kohberger was a scholar of crime, trained to unravel the minds of killers. But within his fractured psyche, the knowledge became a weapon, twisted not to catch the wicked, but to become one. From a lonely childhood to the brutal murders of 4 University of Idaho students, Ethan, Xana, Madison, and Kaylee, his life descended into horror. On July 2nd, he pled guilty, sparing himself death but enraging families seeking answers. Now in the concrete hell of prison, his mind faces a new crucible. Communal showers, mess halls, the yard, the chaos of general population. Step into the abyss of Kohberger's soul, where ego, toxic masculinity, and evil collide. Born in Pennsylvania, young Brian was an outsider, mocked for his weight, carrying shame like a wound. "I'm too heavy. It makes me feel even more disconnected," he wrote on Tapatalk years later. His extreme OCD habits emerged early, arranging toys with military precision, wearing washing hands until they bled, a desperate bid to control a chaotic world. His family, middle class but fractured by 2 bankruptcies, struggled with his emotional distance. His mother, Mary Ann, worked at the Pleasant Valley School District, but even her presence couldn't bridge the gap. Intelligent but distant, his sister recalled, a boy lost in his own fog. He resented the family's religious rituals, dismissing faith as illogical, planting seeds of rebellion against rules, against God, against the world that seemed to reject him. As a teenager, Kohberger's isolation deepened, his psyche unraveling further. Heroin became his escape. He needed to numb the pain of rejection. I was in a bad place, using to escape how I felt about myself, he confessed online. Sobriety came, but not healing. He turned to veganism, not for ethics, but for discipline, sculpting his body to shed the shame of obesity. Jogging and kickboxing became ritual, pounding pavement, throwing punches to outrun his demons. His Tapatalk post revealed a chilling detachment. I feel like I'm out of my body, my mind in a fog, like I'm watching a movie. Dissociation and depersonalization ruled him, a world where emotions were foreign. I don't feel emotions like others do. I see people crying or laughing, and it's like I'm watching a movie, he wrote, hinting at the lack of empathy that left him mimicking human connection, a facade masking a growing void. Nihilism crept in. Nothing feels real, so what's the point of anything? The question that would echo into the darkest acts. In his 20s, Kohberger's mind found solace in dangerous ideas. Darwinism taught him life was a brutal struggle, survival of the ruthless. Nietzsche filled his ego, whispering of man above the herd. Most people are sheep, he sneered to a classmate, but some rise above. Freud's id, the primal beast within, fascinated him, mirroring his own urges. Libertarianism justified rejecting authority, while nihilism stripped away morality. His extreme OCD habits, checking locks, organizing notes, become a shield against chaos, a way to impose order on a world he couldn't feel. At WSU, criminology became his obsession, not to catch killers, but to emulate them. He studied their motives, their methods, how they stalked, struck, evaded, turning knowledge into a blueprint for evil, a path to instant gratification, to fill the void where emotions should have been. Women were Kohberger's obsession, a mirror to his wounded ego. From high school rejections to unanswered dating app messages, each slight was a narcissistic injury, a stab to his fragile self-image. He tried to talk to girls, but it came off creepy, a friend recalled. His toxic masculinity, equating manhood with dominance, turned rejection into rage. Madison Mogan, a vibrant, unattainable, became his target, a symbol of the acceptance he craved, but never won. His ego depletion, years of suppressing rage from bullying and rejection, left him brittle, while threatened egotism turned every perceived slight into a call for vengeance. His criminology training, meant to protect, became a weapon to orchestrate a perfect crime at 1122 King Road, a stage to prove his power, his manhood, his superiority. November the 13th, Kohberger's white Elantra cuts through Moscow's silent streets, a K-bar knife sheathed at his side. His plan, honed by criminology, is meticulous. Enter 1122 King Road, find Madison, strike with precision, and vanish. A testament to his control, his idea, his OCD habits, checking the knife, mapping the route, ensure every detail is perfect. His pulse thunders, adrenaline alive, the promise of gratification, fleeting escape from the dissociated fog. He slips into the house, his training guiding silent steps, avoiding the cameras, leaving no trace, up to the third floor, Madison's room. The stage for his twisted fantasy. The knife feels alive, his masculinity made still. He opens the door expecting her alone, his script unfolding perfectly. But chaos erupts. Kaylee lies beside Madison. Her presence a dagger through his black and white script. His rigid mind, unable to process the gray, collapses under threatened egotism. His fantasy of control, his proof of manhood, is ruined. Narcissistic injury ignites a volcanic rage. Every rejection, every laugh, every unanswered message. They're all the same, his mind screams. The women who made him feel small, invisible, feel less. The knife rises, and the scholar becomes the savage. Madison goes first, then Kaylee. Each strike a release of toxic fury, a warped assertion of masculinity. The room is a slaughterhouse, blood pooling, his vision blurred by sweat and adrenaline. His ego depletion strips away restraint, his criminology knowledge guiding each brutal blow. Where to strike, how to silence. Oh no, a sound. From below? Xanacronodal. His predator's instincts honed by study lock on. Downstairs, Xana and Ethan Chapin meet the same fate, their lives snuffed out in the frenzy of violence. 4 dead, their future stolen by a man whose education became his evil, whose masculinity became his malice. Kohberger flees, blood on his hands, sweat stinging his eyes, blind to Dylan frozen in the shadows. A knife sheath left behind betrays his training. A fatal flaw from a would-be mastermind. Back in his apartment, the rush of gratification fades, leaving only the void of his dissociation. Nothing feels real, he wrote years ago, and now the reality of 4 deaths weigh on him, not with guilt, but with hollow ache of failure. His fantasy of control, of transcending the herd, had crumbled into chaos. July the 2nd, Kohberger pled guilty, trading the death penalty for life without parole. A final act of control that enraged victims' families. The families call it cruel and shocking, denied answers by a plea deal shrouded in secrecy. Prison would now await. He would have a new crucible for his broken psyche, where communal showers, mess halls, the yard, general population test the man who sought to be more than human. In the communal showers, he stands exposed. The shame of his obese past would resurface. His narcissistic injury flares. Every glance, real or imagined, feels like a slight, echoing the rejections that. The mess hall is a theater of survival, a chaos of clashing trays and shouting alliances that overwhelm his rigid black and white mind. His lack of empathy, I don't know, feel emotions like others do, blocks alliances. His social deficits, a liability. No life or fan club for him. Sociopaths will want to take him down. His OCD habits, counting bites, arranging trays, become a desperate anchor, mocked by those who seek weakness. His ego depletion erodes resolve. Each perceived slight, a bumped shoulder, stroking rage. He can't act on it without consequence. In the yard, where power is raw and hierarchies are forged, humbles the man who saw himself above the herd. His criminology knowledge, useless without authority, can't shield him from predators who know his crime. Toxic masculinity, once a drive to dominate women, meets a test, proving himself among men who value strength over intellect. His social history, he came off creepy, makes alliances elusive. Threatened egotism simmers, but a wrong move invites violence. His narcissistic injury festers as his notoriety makes him a target, not a king. His OCD habits, pacing, checking, his only solace in a world he can't control. In general population, his psyche faces its ultimate trial. The man who planned the perfect crime, undone by a knife sheath, is no mastermind here. His dissociation, nothing feels real, offers no escape from the relentless noise. His OCD habits, counting steps, checking locks, are a mockery in a world of order. Narcissistic injury, threatened egotism, risk confrontation he can't win. Toxic masculinity marking him vulnerable. Kohberger's story is a chilling paradox. A boy shaped by rejection, a teen lost to addiction, a scholar who weaponized knowledge, a killer undone by his ego and masculinity. His Darwinism, Nietzsche, Freud, nihilism, libertarianism justified his crimes, but in prison they are irrelevant. His veganism, jogging, kickboxing, built a body, not a soul. His OCD habits and dissociation trapped him in a fog, his lack of empathy and toxic masculinity leading to tragedy. Could a moment of connection, a teacher's guidance, have stopped him, or was his path inevitable? A collision of intellect, ego, and evil. The plea deal sparing him death leaves families in anguish with no words. Prison with its showers, mess halls, and yards, where his psyche once a predator, now faces the prey. Ethan, Xana, Madison, Kaylee, 4 lives, bright and boundless, extinguished by a man who sought power in their blood. Their memory endures, a call to see the unseen, the challenge, to challenge the darkness before it consumes again.
And like I said, that is the way that is the Brian Kohberger that I know from my research. And PKC, I think I just saw that your daughter's in the hospital. So my prayers are with you. I don't know what's wrong or anything, but I don't need to know because I know how to pray for what God needs you to have. So prayers to you and prayers for your daughter. So, and the reason I know I saw somebody say that a lot of people covered the case and stuff, but that they don't really, I guess, cover Kohberger. And y'all can thank 12 Gauge for that because I was in Gage's live one night, and it was when I first started following him. And he was talking about, Kohberger, the suspect, Kohberger, the killer, all this. And he put a challenge out there for us to get to know Kohberger as a person, not as a killer, not as a criminologist, that he wanted us to research and get to know Kohberger. Well, anybody that knows me knows that when I take a challenge on like that, it's deep. I go all in, And so, in between researching the case, I guess going on 2 years now, I have been researching Kohberger. And you will never hear me call him Brian because I don't know him. We've never met, so he will be Kohberger to me. But I I feel like I honestly feel like I could sit down with Kohberger and say, "Hey, dude, do you remember May the 14th of 2014 when you did this? Can you tell me why you did that?" You know, and it's not that I'm not saying that I researched it any better than anybody else or any deeper than anybody else because, there's psychologists and psychiatrists and all these people out there that can tell you a whole lot more about him than I can. But I feel like I know the man. No, let me rephrase that. I feel like I know the boy, the teenager, to the man, to the killer, you know. And to me, I guess that's why I never wavered from his guilt, because when somebody would say, well, there's no motive, there's plenty of motive, plenty of it. I mean, he's his own motive, and y'all have seen me put it in comments a lot that sometimes the desire to take a life is, hang on. Oh Lord, there's a cat outside. My dog's going crazy. But sometimes the desire to take a life is a stronger motive than lust, greed, love, revenge, because that is what drives them. That is what they plan. That's what they fantasize. That's what it rules their world. I honestly believe, and I know y'all have seen me say it in comments and you've heard me say it, I honestly believe that he planned that day for 10 years. I believe that he knew what he was, and I believe he knows what he is. And I think that as long as he wasn't in a downward spiral or ego depletion, I think that he was able to hold it together. But as soon as something started going wrong, his psyche went wrong. And I think that's what happened at WSU is everything was snowballing, and he finally just said, "You know what? F it. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to try to change it. I'm not going to try to fight it. I'm not going to try to not do it. I'm just going to do it." You know, and I mean, it's like no, sometimes I think maybe I went too deep. I mean, because I've read every type of talk. And the thing about it is, if I go into something like Nicole Murray, the Facebook page that I just showed you, because she was found so close to Kohberger's house, I read every comment and I researched everything on that page. I felt like a stalker, you know. But what I found was that two people that were people of interest in that area, they're dead, gone, poof. And Pocono Bob is where they all went and did heroin. From reading Ashley Flugel's Instagram and Facebook and social media and reading every comment and researching, that's how I found Amanda, Montana. And we know that there was a note found, and it was either a note from Montana to Brian or a note, either way, to Montana or from Montana. But we didn't know if that was like a state or a person. Or so when I saw Amanda, Montana, and she ran around with that group, I was like, wow. Well, then I found where he had been put in Brandywine Hospital for the eating disorder. And I believe that when he was in Brandywine, that it was actually a dual diagnosis of the eating disorder and rehab. Um, yeah, a note to Brian from Montana. So when I found that, when they said something about that note, I was like, "Hey, Amanda, Montana, could that be?" So Was he present when two of his friends overdosed? He was number one suspect for Ashley Flugel until she until it was announced that it was a heroin overdose. But until they got her toxicology back and it was just absolutely proven that it was heroin overdose, he was number one suspect. Besides, now there was a guy that was at the house that left and they wanted to talk to him, but he wasn't a suspect. Um, do you know what year he was in? If I'm not mistaken, I think he was in Brandywine around 2013, 2014. I know he got completely clean in between 2016 and 2017. Um, I know that when his dad called the police on him, and now look, y'all, anything I'm telling y'all, anytime you want receipts, just tell me because I've got days and weeks of receipts. um, when his dad went to call the police for stealing Melissa's phone, um, he told his dad, "Don't do something stupid," and they actually had a physical altercation, and that's one of the reasons that I think that's one of the things that was helping him stay on the good side, because they always say that, you've got two wolves, you get to choose which one you're going to feed. And so he was, rebuilding his relationship with his dad and, he was graduating and getting his, masters and his all these stuff, and so I think that that's when, everything's on the up. And I think that him rebuilding his relationship with his dad may be one of the reasons for. I'm not going to say that because I don't know. I don't know if dad knew or not. But if dad did know, I can say that I can honestly say that if dad did know, in my heart of hearts, I feel like if he tried to help him, it was blinded by trying to do something good and to help his son, maybe to buy time until they could figure out, because they already know that Melissa's called the FBI. They already know that you know the Elantra's in the garage. I mean, that they're not stupid people. you know um yeah, my dog, whoa, he sounds like I'm beating him. But at one point he talks about that his disruption, as he calls it, in his life, and the disruption, the um knowing something's wrong, the visual snow, started at like age 9. And that picture that you saw, I think that's the youngest picture that I've been able to find of him. And I would say that little Brian Kohberger was probably 9. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'll be 100% honest with y'all. That little 9-year old, I would take and I would hug and I would try to help. The little teenager in the type of talk, and it's like, if you could just hug him and help him, could you stop it? But now the guy is now, shoot that bitch. I mean, sorry. I mean, but sometimes you have to wonder if there could have been some kind of connection, if somebody could have just connected somehow. And so that tells me that there's no connection in the Kohberger house. If you're spiraling and you're losing it and everything like that. I mean, y'all have heard me over and over, a high school boy on heroin. That's unheard of. A high school boy having a tummy tuck, going to rehab twice, going to a hospital for eating disorder. He talks about having PTSD. He talks about, why do you have PTSD? Somebody tell me, at the time of Tapatalk, a teenager, can somebody tell me why you have PTSD? Did you ever read the article about the server who waited the Kohbergers in the restaurant before Christmas? She said that there was tense and asked, yes, yes. That's the one where they asked for the subdued lighting, right? Oh my God. I can't believe you said that. Sorry, y'all. Oh, they just said, I can't wait for a hamburger joint that sells Kohbergers. Anyway, hey, Jeff H. So, Jeff, that was my graduation speech because you said that it felt like graduation day. So, okay, here's some stuff. It's the first time I'm putting some of this stuff out here in public because y'all know me without being able to just really grind it down. I won't put it out there. But somebody asked, was he abused? I can tell you that Jeremy Saba is the guy that introduced him to heroin. I can tell you that when they were smaller, of course, and Jeremy Saba would come over to play as Kohbergers, the kids were not allowed in the house. Like if they had company, they were not allowed in the house. They were not allowed to have spend the night company. Y'all, I'm sorry, that's strange. That is trying to raise some isolated kids, okay? That's very clandestine. I mean, I am not judging anything about the family. I'm not saying anything bad about the family. I'm not disrespecting the family. But they something off. Okay, let me catch up. Good to see you. I don't recall. Okay, Dolphin says I don't recall that part. What part? I need to pay more attention to the chat. It's sad to think about. His neighbor, Christian Martinez, said he wondered if he had hung out at vacation. See, that's what I'm saying. I mean, but if you'll notice, the kids they didn't they didn't have that type of friendships. You know, it is said that Melissa tried to not go home from school because of the chaos. You know what chaos? Can somebody tell me what chaos? You know, and the cowbell one is epic. Okay. Hey, Harlot, we should just carpool. I just read that. How odd to never be able. Exactly. I mean that. Come on, y'all. Y'all know yourselves that. Now, I mean, okay, guys maybe not, but girls, come on. Girls practically live together. I mean, it could have also been because. But hold up. I don't know if y'all ever paid attention to a statement that he says, and I've always read it, but I've never really absorbed it. And he's talking about the candida overgrowth, and he's talking about the toxins, about how he is so strict about that Kaufman diet. And it's talking about because he lives in a house with black mold. What? Why have I not ever paid attention to that? Why has that not ever like jumped out at me and said, hey, look at me? You know, I mean, I don't see that. I mean, don't get me wrong. Maybe he's not talking about the house they live in now. Maybe he's talking about, you know, the house and effort, you know, that got auctioned off, you know. I don't know because he never mentions it again. It's never brought up again. It's never documented again. It's one sentence, one time only, you know. But if you think about it, his obsession with toxins and the candida overgrowth, if the house has mold, that would explain that, I guess, obsession of, you know, making sure that it doesn't get inside you or, you know, whatever. Most of us have been impacted by addiction in our family. Exactly. See, and come to find out, you know, they act like they act like, you know, he was this little high schooler that stole his sister's phone. Not a big deal, right? Well, Connie Saba, he calls Connie Saba up one day, and Jeremy Saba has been put in jail for DUI and drugs. And he's like, "Oh, I want to see him. I know he's in jail. When's the next time you're going?" Like he's going to go with her. So he doesn't show up. She goes to see Jeremy in jail. Well, when she comes home, her house has been broke into and her tablet's gone. Well, she knew automatically who did it. Okay. So there is a retired veteran, a special ops veteran that lives in like way out in the woods. Not, he doesn't live in the woods, but his house is in the woods. And so he had noticed that, somebody in the woods had been watching him and stuff like that. And the stuff had been coming up missing in his house. Well, when Kohberger got arrested and everything, that it was like, oh my God, that's him. That's the guy. Um, so I told y'all that I read all the comments. So I'm going down through there, and I think at this time I'm researching on Nicole Murray that led me to Amanda, Montana. Well, I get a message that tells me there's another prototype. And as a matter of fact, it's in that video. And it says, Nina, there's another prototype you need to look at. She was in the hospital with Kohberger. And I'm like, okay. And so they tell me that her name is Emily Coral. Okay. So I go researching Emily Coral. Well, Emily Coral is missing. She's nowhere to be found. She's. Now Nicole Murray is dead. Ashley Flugel is dead. Xana Kernodle is dead. And Emily Coral is missing. Okay. So I always prefer his friend. Yes, that would make sense. Born and label name. Speaking of Jeremy, Howard Bloom said the Brian's dad didn't tell right away about Jeremy's death because he was away. I think he might have been. No, let's see. If he's away, okay, he died in. I think Ashley died in May of 2018, and Jeremy died, I think, in March of 2021. So Jeremy Saba only died a year before he went to, unless he was away like at DeSales or because I think DeSales was like 50 to 75 miles from his house and he was commuting away until 2021. 2021. Well, that gives me something to look at because, yeah, March of 2021. Huh. You know what? Okay, so listen. So anyway, that's where I start researching Emily Coral. And from Emily Coral, a comment comes up that leads me somewhere else. Well, then I got sidetracked on that and I started researching any camera around that would have picked him up, like anytime he was over in Moscow. And I found an article talking about 3 different girls had complained about him being at the student union building in the cafeteria, just sitting there drinking water, and said that he would just stare like this, eerie stare. And it freaked them out so bad that some of them actually went outside to eat. And so I go down through there and, I'm reading everything, blah, 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 reading everything. And it says that we need to research what happened in the library at DeSales. I think it was at DeSales. And I'm like, what happened in the library at DeSales? So here I go researching that. So I go to the library at DeSales, doing my research. And come to find out, a guy that he had partnered with on their final, Kohberger had basically took it over and turned it in himself and caused that guy to get an F. And so that guy actually confronted him in the library at DeSales. So I'm reading that and I'm reading all the comments. Okay. Are y'all ready? It says, Well, somebody needs to find out what happened in Moscow, Pennsylvania. Moscow, Pennsylvania? Why is there a Moscow, Pennsylvania? And what happened in Moscow, Pennsylvania? So, anyway, and I don't know. I got sidetracked again. So we need to research what happened in Moscow, Pennsylvania. No, we don't have to research anything. He's pled guilty. But anyway, y'all can see how deep I guess my research goes as far as Kohberger is concerned. I mean, he did it. There's not a doubt in my mind that he did it. I can envision him walking in that back door, walking up those stairs. I can see it. And then when I find out, and see, y'all know I've always said that he's not an incel. I may have to retract that statement because I wasn't aware. And look, I've done like a 3-hour show on Gage's panel about Elliot Rodger. Me and Unfiltered Lucky did a series on Elliot Rodger. I mean, I've researched Elliot Rodger, and I knew that, the girl broke his heart and she's all in his manifesto and everything. I never realized that she was a blonde that was the size of Maddie and her name was Maddie. Never realized that. There is a Moscow, Pennsylvania, and it's about 56 miles, give or take. And as a matter of fact, Dr. Vanna's in here. She can probably tell you because she lives out that way, and I'm not doxing her because she's already doxed herself. But, okay, what happened in the library? Okay, at DeSales Library, a guy that he had partnered with um, on a project or something like that. And y'all, I don't know if it's that Ferraro guy. Um, I can't remember, but and y'all want some insight on Brian Kohberger? Go to TikTok and watch Ferraro's videos. Now he graduated, so this is like probably one of the latest people that would know Kohberger as far as school or anything because he graduated from DeSales, and him and Kohberger actually did a project together, and his last name is Ferraro. So, Vanna, what happened at DeSales Library is a guy that he screwed over and caused him to get like an F, confronted him in the library. And as I'm reading the comments and everything, that's where I find that we need to find out what happened in Moscow, Pennsylvania. Well, in the process of all that, I find out that there is a something camel, I don't know, something ski resort like less than 25 minutes from his house. And come to find out, there was a peeper at the ski resort. And then I found an article that talks about that they lived in a gated community, but it didn't matter because he was always running at night. And we know that he ran at night. And that the reason that he ran at night was because he could see in the windows. No, it wasn't him. Okay, good. So you've watched the Ferraro guy. Dr. Bonus says, "Oh my God, I looked it up. It's by Scranton." Exactly. Um, and there's just all those little things, Then you've got the y'all explain to me why his federal warrant, federal, not state, not city, not county, his federal warrant for his iCloud goes all the way back to 2016. Why? I mean, why y'all taking it all the way back to 2016? Okay, I believe that he used people. See, that's what I'm saying. Oh yeah, I totally, yeah, 100% on that, definitely. Oh, the library project guy. Okay, see, yeah, y'all got to consider that I came into this in February of this is 25. I came into this last year. So I just celebrated a year in like February of 20, yeah, February. Other than that, I had never done true crime. So as far as research and stuff like that, I've only been doing it like a year and 3 months, a year and 4 months, maybe. Um, so when I came in, I was like way behind all y'all because, y'all y'all had already y'all had already researched the church. Y'all had already, all that stuff that I was like, look what I found, look what I found. Hell, all that stuff had already been debunked, you know. Um, what are we congratulating Nina for? I'll take it. Congratulations, Nina. I'll take it. Hey, Deb. So, Sirius said that she's always wanting to know what I think about. So, Sirius, is there anything that you have? No, I mean, anybody, is there anything you have questions about? But Sirius always comes to me, are you going live? Because I need to hear what you think about this. It's okay. You're finding stuff that others didn't. Well, I mean, and it's not that. It's just that, like I said, sometimes I go all in, and most people don't sit there and read all the comments, and maybe that's some kind of a obsessive disorder I have or something. Congrats on the good job. Oh, thank you. For my YouTube journey, let me tell you about my YouTube journey, Vaughn. I'm glad you brought that up. My YouTube journey got shut down. I can make videos and I can go live, but that's it. Because I posted on my humor page, which is called Kohberger Funnies. And all it is these little videos where I have Kohberger singing. So I made a video, 16-second video. And I put him in his little safety helmet and him in his little black mask. And I had him singing Man in the Mirror. 16 seconds. Well, I forgot that they had a damn K-bar in their hand. And I got shut down for citing violence. And they will not allow me to be a part of the YouTube partner. They will not allow me to monetize. Yeah. So Kohberger is the gift that keeps on giving. Wow. So anyway, so yeah, Vonna. No, my YouTube journey's fine. I mean, I'm enjoying my journey. I mean, am I upset that I can't get monetized? Hell yeah, I'm upset I can't get monetized. But what don't kill you makes you stronger, and it'll all work out in the wash. There's nothing wrong in going all in research. I saw something the other night that old Paul posted. Actually pointed out something that seemed legit. Oh my God, you're kidding! Pabioli was something legit. Hey, now I will have to say that the other night when I did the video on the 1126 camera, I have searched for a year and a half for anybody, any creator, to put something out there that said something about a camera that wasn't in the public. And I'll be a son of a bitch if it wasn't Pabioli that put it out there. Can you reapply? Yeah, I mean, as soon as I got my notification, it said that I could take the training course and then it would go away in 90 days. 90 days is like 90 years. But it would go away in 90 days, or I could appeal it. But if I appeal it and lose, then I could lose it forever. So I went and I took the training course and everything. So I've already done everything I can do, and I went in and deleted anything and everything that had a K bar in it. So Just have, oh yeah, they took the short down. I mean, it's 16 seconds. I was like, really? Y'all couldn't shut me down for like a 2 hour live or a 30-minute video. It had to be a 16-second video. New channel and have everyone join as your lives here of stream from both accounts. Start a new channel. Start a new channel? Like, get rid of this channel? Are you crazy? I've worked my butt off building this channel. Oh, stream from both accounts. See, that just, I don't know, because see, I had to go and sign those guidelines today, and we messing with it like that is on the guideline, and they will shut you down completely. Hey, Deb. Actually, Dr. Bonner might be able to answer some questions about Opal. It had to do with his suspicion on why Hurwitz was brought in for the prosecution and the state wanting to. Now, is he not saying that they brought him in because of the big drug bust and stuff like that? No, it's because of the because of where he could go as far as prison, and he went to that place that's like a group home or something. Is that what you're talking about? Hang on, y'all. Let me get a drink. Okay, Vonna, what it is it's saying that Hurwitz, since he was the federal prosecutor, he's saying that Hurwitz could come in and do like this big deal, a plea deal or something like that, to where he goes to this posh, like it's going to be like a group home, to where he basically works in the group home, and it's like instead of going to prison. Yeah, state mental hospital. But the problem with that is in Idaho, the mental people are in the prison that he's going to. Now, in 2024, 2025, they put a bill out to build a separate place. But for right now, if I'm not mistaken, they are still housed in that prison. So, why I know that, I don't have a clue. I'm going to get a drink. I will be right back. Okay, sorry. Had to get my granddaughter a popsicle. So, where are we at? I have been waiting to know what you think about Big K's mom And whether you think she is controlling or dominate, let me tell you something. Okay, let me change positions for this one. Y'all know that I am not the type of person that would ever disrespect a mom. But y'all, let me tell you, Deb is in here, Sirius is in here, Vanna's in here. I think Chloe may be in here. And y'all, they something wrong with Mama Kohberger. If he has depression, that's a mental illness. I have major depressive disorder. That would be send him. No, depression don't make you go upstairs and kill 4 people. Is all the people who think BK's plea deal, unbeknownst to the families, involve him going to the mental health court. Yeah, exactly. Overseas. Oh, okay, gotcha. Um, I've just, y'all, I'm sorry, but when you can sit in court and you come out of court looking mad and you come out of court looking like not defeated, looking mad. They said the dad looked defeated, that the dad looked, just killed, and when you can sit there and you can watch your son walk off knowing that he just pled guilty to 4 just horrible, ruthless murders, and you can't even muster up a tear for the victim's family. You can't muster up a tear for the victims. There's 2 surviving victims in the court. You can't muster up a tear for one of them, much less muster up a tear for your son. I mean, y'all, that that I don't know. That's a little weird. And why are you going to have Mary Ann, Raquel, Raganese, Kohberger, and then uh, where Chloe? Tell him, Chloe. Kohberger going to prison, y'all. Don't let nobody fool y'all into thinking he's going to some posh mental hospital, because anybody that lives out there, and Deb or anybody out there, I know PKC lives out that way, and I'm not doxing her because she talks about it too. But the mental people stay at the prison unless that bill went through and they've already built a new place. But I think they were building the new place on that property. I would have cried. Exactly. I would have been bawling my eyes out. I mean, that's just it. I would have been bawling my eyes out. He ain't eligible for mental health court. I didn't think so. See, y'all, I mean, I'll be honest with you. Dr. Vaughn is in here, and I'm going to tell you right now, I think all that's wrong with him is he's just a damn psychopath. I mean, that's just, and I know that it's called antisocial something now instead of psychopath and sociopath, but he's anti social, and he'll kill you in your sleep anytime. Yes. And I'm gonna be honest with you, from all the research that I've done about Kohberger, to her, pleading guilty would be the wussy way out. If does that make any sense? To her, a man would fight it all the way to the end until he got right in front of the firing squad and he'd still be denying it. That's a man. A wussy would take a plea. That's what I thought. That's what I thought, Deb. Yeah, PK saying, but I mean, I knew that I had read to where that they were all housed. I mean, I'm not saying that the mental patients are housed in the prison with the prisoners, but I know that they're housed at the prison. Okay, so let me answer a serious question because she really wants to know what I think about the mom. I think that the mom, that's what I'm going to call her, is the mom. I'm not going to put a last name on it. The mom to me is she wears the pants in the family. She makes the decisions. She decides everything. And I think between her and two daughters, that the dad was probably wore down and ridiculed, and that's the reason that Kohberger couldn't respect his dad and stuff like that, is because he had seen his dad weakened and made less of a man by the three females in his house. That's my opinion only. I think that when he got took out of the high school law enforcement class that he was in, I think that when he got put in the HVAC, that to him that was demeaning because his dad was just a janitor. So, no, mom doesn't leave or talk to anyone, according to dad. Well, I guess she's going to be like the mom for uh oh what's his name? Bates Motel. I mean, I know that mom was dead, but yeah, the bankruptcies, yeah. Yes, yes. And see, that's just it, his dad was just a janitor. His mom had to rack up $75,000 worth of credit card debt and stuff like that, and who knows? Who knows if mom and sisters didn't say, "Oh, look at the little fat chubby boy," you know. Maybe, and I can sort of talk about that because, my mom put me on prescription diet pills at 11. So, I can see a mom saying, "Oh, you gotta go to a eating disorder hospital. You gotta get some, skin removal," so I can see it. Yes, I am SI. Dad can't handle the conflict. That's what I'm saying is I think that I think that the man in Kohberger's life that was supposed to teach him to be a man, he saw getting ridiculed and pretty much less than a man. Does that make sense, y'all? I mean, Oh, serious? I'll answer anything. I mean, I just think that I think I think when I don't know if it'll ever all come out since he pled. Okay, Pav says, okay, Pavioli's got a video out, and it's talking about that they brought Hurwitz on because he is a federal prosecutor and that he would have the federal authority and stuff like that to do a big deal, that if Kohberger would plead guilty and all this, that he could go to like a posh mental hospital. And he even showed a picture of it, that it's like a house, or a really nice building with grass and everything, not a prison, and that he could go there and live his life out there. And so she was asking Dr. Vana if that could be possible. That's not true. And here's the thing about it, is now, have y'all seen the creator now that's like, um, he's taking, he says that he's going to take anonymous tips and stuff like that so that they can start investigating and clear him. I said, I'm going to call him up and I'm going to tell him a bunch of stuff. And I bet you anything the next day there'll be a video about it. Ain't got nothing to do with Heaven Kohberger. It's got to do with somebody's out of content. 30-bed, undergoing treatment. Yes. 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 Okay. Now, like I said, I'm not a doctor and I'm not a lawyer, so Chloe and Vanna's definitely, got the upper hand on all this. But I did hear today, I was told today, that it could be years before he made it to general population just because of the high profile. But that he wouldn't be like, I don't think he's going to be in like isolation, but it may just be like, if he goes out in the yard, it may be 10 people instead of 100, if that makes sense. Yeah, and they don't have a state mental hospital. And the thing about it is, for him to get sent to a state mental hospital, he would have to do the mitigation for the Eighth Amendment and all that. And when he copped a plea, he gave up mitigation, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, when you cop a plea, yeah, you may as well, yeah, you just go on about yourself. You don't get to mitigate. You don't get to legit anything, you know. No, I know that dolphin. I'm not. Yeah, no, not at all. Uh, Look, I ain't gonna say nothing to you if you do watch Pavioli. I watch every video Pavioli puts out there. I mean, I'll tell anybody. He's a fantastic storyteller. He keeps you interested. His dang technical skills has got way off the charts as far as the way he does his videos now. He's entertaining. I mean, and damn, I ain't never seen nobody that's got so many spaghetti noodles that can just keep throwing them at the wall. So, do y'all have any questions? And I don't know if any of that research that was on the video, if it was slow enough. I don't even know who Pavioli. It's Jay Embry. I call him Pavioli. I think his name's Pavarotti, but he don't watch me because he blocked me. He blocked me a long time ago. I go in there and leave all kind of comments because nobody can read them, but him, but he can. Glitter, you keep going with that page, girl. You've got this. You keep going. And see, Deb's right there too. Me and Deb's, we've had some good laughs about some of this stuff. Boy, some of that stuff we'll be deep diving at 2 o'clock in the morning, and we'll be like, why did that come up under this name? J. Embry, aka Pavarotti. Oh, Pav. Yes, I call him Pavioli. But I have to admit, when Pavioli blocked me, he blocked me respectfully. I mean, he was like, Nina, just can't have you in here saying that kind of stuff. So for that, I'm gonna have to block you, old Nina. I mean, he was respectful when he blocked me. So hey, if somebody has more spaghetti noodles to throw at the wall, you let me. I think they have thrown every spaghetti noodle there is at the wall, and if it sticks, that one's guilty. Yes, they evaluated him, but I recall correctly, they not allowed to test him for sociology. Jay Dumbry. No, now see, PKC, here's the difference though. Is he's not dumb because anybody that can come in and put out videos as a guilter and then say, you know what? I think I got to go with this a different way, and I've got to prove to y'all I don't have to change a thing. I can just change sides and become a pro burger. And I'm going to take every name that's ever been brought up and I'm just going to throw it around and end up with 30,000 subscribers. He ain't dumb. He a very smart man. Now, I don't know about his subs, but I can I can only speak for Pavioli. And I can only speak for my opinion of Pavioli. I can't speak for him. So hello, Pavioli. Yes, that's the Dolphin, that's the video that I saw where you know, he loves Google Earth and he loves to drive around Google Earth, you know. Because y'all know that on Google Earth, that's where the feds were sitting across the street from the house. Come on, y'all. Y'all really, his subs believe that. His subs believe that he found the feds sitting across the house watching someone on Google Earth. Yeah, threw darts at it. I mean, the girl that the DoorDash driver allowed to drive her truck, he has now got her pinned on like 3 or 4 maps in all the drug areas. As yeah, I mean, and you know, Emma Bailey and Demetrius and the frats are not involved. So we've got Kara, we've got Ben Mogan, we've got Corey Hatrock, we've got Steve, we've got Steve's brother, we've got the Aryan Brotherhood, we've got the 3 Aryan Brotherhoods that are in prison for life. Yeah, just keep going, keep going, keep going. That's the reason I said to give him credit though. He can come up with some shit off the wall. Let me tell you. And the thing about it is I was like, what's he gonna do now that he's pled? I'll be danged if he didn't come out with some of that good stuff of, you know, he'll get put in this big fine house and live for the rest of his life comfy and everything because that's the reason they brought Hurwitz in, you know. And the thing about it is they believe it. Now to me, that is somebody they just need something to believe in. I mean, and that I mean, anyway. No, the thing about it is he was only a Fed because he was assigned whatever the president does. President Biden picked him. Well, when Trump came in, Trump fired him. So he's just an attorney. He's not a Fed. Now he might be able to keep some kind of Fed credentials or something. I don't know, but you know, and they wanted to make a big deal about the prosecution bringing a Fed in, a federal prosecutor. Well, damn it to hells, y'all got a federal defense over there. What's the difference? I mean, if you can have a federal defense, we can have a federal prosecutor. I didn't know Nye was a Fed. I didn't know that. But why are they making a big deal about the prosecution having a Fed when Massoff is a Fed? Well, alrighty then. Hey, I got a letter from the Washington State U.S. Attorney. That's that's what kind of research I do. I emailed the Washington U.S. Attorney and told them some stuff that was being said, and I actually got an email back, and I think I made a video and put it out there, and it says that the Aryan Brotherhood that the drug bust and everything that went down had nothing to do with 1122 or anything like that. Did you hear her pay attention to her language in court? I never did hear her say anything. You talking about in the plea? Oh, her body language. Sorry. That little red heart was in the way. Yeah. She was not very happy. But boy, I tell you what, oh Ann Taylor, she looked like the cat that has swallowed the canary. And oh my gosh, I was so glad that Alina got up there on that panel and so firmly spoke about Dylan and Bethany being there. Because I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all right now what y'all don't know is, oh my gosh, before that happened, I had been going around and around with this one creator that, I made my that post on my community page saying that they were my new heroes for being there and stuff like that. Oh Lordy mercy. There was a creator that flat out did not believe it. And so yeah, I needed to produce a name, and I wouldn't produce a name. I wouldn't tell who told me or anything like that. So I was so glad when Alina did that. Oh, I'm sure it is. I mean, I mean, I'll be honest with you. The first, y'all know that Evil CJ is the first creator that I ever started following when I, Sirius, close your ears. You didn't hear me say that name, Sirius. But he was the first creator that I, ever like fell into as far as like watching him every time and being a part of like Evil CJ group, And so I guess if you think about it, in the beginning, I was a pro burger because that's basically where my research was going. But then as I did my own research, I was like, yeah, I don't think I believe this. So I have to go find some. I have to leave the nest. Oh, wow. He gets a body language expert to do Kohberger's attorneys instead of him. That would be interesting. That would be really interesting. So the picture where he's standing so straight up and he looks mad, and she's got like, I mean, there's two officers standing around him, and she's got her hand on his shoulder. Did I miss something? Was something going on there? Was there some kind, or is that just what he looked like? I would love to know what you guys think happened between the old dream team. Hey, Common Sense. Common Sense, I want to apologize to you. The way that I answered your comment in Discord, it sounded like I was leaving YouTube. I'm not leaving YouTube at all. It when I said it is permanent, I was talking about my arrangement and everything. I wasn't talking about leaving YouTube. So you're stuck with me, and I'm here to stay. Yeah, because he's standing like straight up. I mean, it's like in a his posture is like in a I don't want to say an attack posture, but it's in a defensive posture, I guess. And she's got her hand on his shoulder, and there's two officers standing right there. And I'm like, what? Did I miss something? Yeah, yeah. And I did see Massoff reach over and sort of, you could tell that she was sort of comforting Bika Barlow. Well, I mean, you got to consider though that being a defense attorney for the death penalty, if you get your client off out of being put to death, that's a win. You saved his life. Plus, she made $1 million. So hey, you saved a life, made $1 million bucks. I'd be smiling too. Yeah, I agree with that, Chloe. Oh wow, I hadn't thought about that, Dolphin. Timothy McVeigh. I can see that. Damn, I can really see that. What are they doing to Bicca? See, I hadn't really been on YouTube. Um, I've actually been I've actually been closing my Kohberger stuff down. Has thought about unaliving AT. Oh wow, she's a blonde. I wonder if she's ever wondered if he's thought about it. And that's the thing about it is I didn't know I don't know that much of her, but she seems like a really nice lady. And Donna, I actually texted you the video that I played at the beginning, um, because, like I said, I'm in the process of putting all my Kohberger stuff into one file and putting it away. And so that video, I'm not going to say it'll be my last Kohberger video, but it is probably going to be. That's probably my deepest one. That's probably the deepest one that I've put out. Oh yes, 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 yes. I think I actually shared that in the Discord. Yeah, really. Yeah, I like that handwritten statement that was typed. And what's funny, Chloe, is there's a that channel that was talking about that they needed to go for the Dalbert standard, and they needed to get Turtle Boy and Karen, what's her name, Karen Reed. And I'm sorry if that's not her name, but I didn't follow that case at all. Her attorney and everything, and because they're going to have somebody that can take on the state's DNA expert. I'm like, dude, y'all do realize that Becca Barlow is the attorney, and she's like the DNA expert that could take on another DNA expert. So y'all are like talking out your ass because you don't know any better. Oh, I do want to report the other night when I did my DNA live, and I actually played about 5 minutes of Birdie's video. Hello, Birdie. I actually got an email from Birdie telling me that he watched the live and that he appreciated it and that it was really good information and thanked me for it. So I thought that was really nice. So thank you, Birdie. Yeah, and see, they were talking about that they needed to get somebody in there that could take on West Ringer's what's his name? Christian Westinger, something like that. was going to be the DNA expert or the blood expert or forensics expert. He was going to do something. But they were like, you got to get somebody that's going to, be able to take him on. And I'm like, y'all do know who Big Barlow is, right? Message them to me and tell Twizzlestick thought he would be funny and message them to me and tell me that he and Meg P wanted me to see them. I told him that whatever made him feel better, living rent free in their mind. Whoa, wanted you to see what? I'm lost. Hello. Who? What are they wanting Sirius to see? Oh, and the STR mix. Oh my gosh. That was when, they oh my gosh, what did they do to it? They oh my gosh. I don't think anybody got through to that judge, I'll be honest with you. I think they sent that shit straight to voicemail. Yeah, but they did something to the STR, and it's what you do. They oh my gosh, it's like you add to it. What's it called? It's a word. Come on, Chloe. What's the word? Where you ah amplified? No. Amplification. Yes, they amplified it. And that's what you do to the STR mix. You amplify it. And I was like, you know what? Bring on the Daubert standard because the Daubert standard is the reason Ray got kicked out of some of the courts. And I guess in a way, if the families get everything that they need for some type of closure and for some kind of healing, I guess where I'm at, there is not a doubt in my mind that he did it. There's not a doubt in my mind how he did it. There's not a doubt in my mind why he did it. There's not a doubt in my mind what the motive is. And I'm going to send him a letter that says, Kohberger, I am so sorry that you are a mass murderer who will never grow up to be a serial killer. It's sort of like, you got hatched too early. Sorry, you'll never grow up. Yeah, Chloe, they do it with an amplification, that big word. Yeah, that's why we hire experts. Well, y'all, I have kept y'all almost 2 hours. Um, I don't know if what I wrote and everything helped y'all at all as far as maybe why he did it or helped you maybe understand him. But I will tell you this, I am still researching Moscow, Pennsylvania. I am still researching Nicole Murray. I'm still researching um, Mama Kohberger. And I'm really close with Mama Kohberger. I mean, I'm like really close. That's the reason I'm trying to be careful what I say. Um, but I do appreciate each and every one of y'all. Um, y'all make everything worth it. Y'all make everything, um, I do so appreciate every one of y'all. And if y'all do have any questions or, I'm a panel host. So if anybody needs me to be on panel, I'm available. Y'all have a really good night and thank y'all so much.